the Republicans, as you know, you heard my conversation with Randy, John Kasich says, it would be just great if we had an election and then the people actually have had some say in who our next Supreme Court justice is. Right. He said that yesterday, John Kasich. We did have an election. It was in 2012, and then there was another one in 2016, and those elections installed the President of the United States and the current makeup of the Senate and the House, although this is really all about the Senate. Senator Mitch McConnell says the American people should have a voice in the selection of their next Supreme Court justice. Right, and they did. You know, when I voted for Barack Obama in 2012, there was no doubt in my mind that I was voting also for Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan. I wanted his Supreme Court appointees. Chuck Grassley says it only makes sense that we defer to the American people. Right. In the Constitution, it does not say that the American people elect the Supreme Court. In fact, if you go back to, what was it, Federalist 74, Shano, you were 76, Shano was quoting from this morning, Mr. Hamilton going on about that at some length. Ted Cruz says, if the Democrats want to replace this nominee, they need to win the election. Ted, we already did. That guy in the White House, Barack Obama, we voted him in. We had an election, and we voted him in. It's real. It's there. I mean, it's what are you complaining about? Well, yeah. Oh, okay. We are more than 3/5 of the way into President Obama's presidency, right? 3/5 of 8. I don't do math well in my head, but 3/5 of 8 seems like we would have been 3/5 of the way through his 8-year presidency, probably toward the end of the 4th year or early in the 5th year. We are now in the 7th year. So, I beg your pardon, Luis? We're now in the 7th year. So, according to Republicans, he shouldn't be able to appoint anybody because, after all, black presidents only get to appoint 3/5 during 3/5 of their presidency. And by the way, for the last year and a half, 2 years, the Republicans have been refusing to even hold hearings on dozens of judicial nominees from President Obama. Sri Srinivasan, or however you say his last name, just got on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, a month or two ago. Pardon? 3 years ago? He's been on the court for 3 years? Okay. Well, in any case, he's like one of the... he got in under the 3/5 mark, apparently. And but ever since then, they've been saying, no, sorry. Your 3/5 are done, Obama. There's 2/5 to go, and it's ours. It belongs to the white guys at the Senate, the Republican Party. May 23rd, 2013 was when Sri was what's the word? Confirmed, thank you, to the United States Senate. This is what Hamilton said. He said, the exercise of it by the people at large will be readily admitted to be impracticable. As waiving every other consideration, it would leave them little time to do anything else. In other words, the people shouldn't be figuring out who should be a Supreme Court justice. You have to vet all kinds of people, and you have to make all kinds of decisions. He said, when therefore mention is made in the subsequent reasons of an assembly or body of men, in other words, should the Senate appoint the Supreme Court? He said, what is said must be understood to relate to a specific body or assembly of the description already given. The people collectively, from their number and from their dispersed situation, cannot be regulated in their movements by that systematic spirit of cabal and intrigue. In other words, the people aren't going to get involved in the politics that the Senate would, which will be urged as the chief objection to reposing the power in question in a body of men. In other words, the Senate is tangled up in politics, so you don't want the Senate picking the Supreme Court. And the people don't have the time or the ability to thoroughly vet a list of Supreme Court candidates. So who should? He goes on, this is Federalist number 76. It was published April 1st, 1788 by Alexander Hamilton. He said, premising this, I proceed to lay it down as a rule that one man of discernment. So this is where Hamilton is arguing that, he's arguing for the Constitution. The Federalist Papers were a sales pitch for the Constitution written by James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay, and published in newspapers all across the country during the 2 years from 1887 until 1887 until 1889, when the Constitution was written in 87 and finally ratified, and we became the modern United States of America in 1889. He said that one man of discernment, the president, is better fitted to analyze and estimate the peculiar qualities adapted to particular offices, in this case, obviously the Supreme Court, because that's what he's talking about, than a body of men of equal or perhaps even superior discernment. He also says the president shall have the power to fill up all vacancies, and that's in all caps, all vacancies, which may happen, capital, during the recess of the Senate, all caps, this is Hamilton, by granting commissions which shall expire at the end of the next session. So, as Randy pointed out, the president, in January, will be able to appoint a Supreme Court justice. This is going to get real interesting.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.